But most important before I leave, we talked a little bit about it last week, but there are not too many people here. This 2 weeks is what you call the Indian Halloween. The Indian Halloween lasts for 2 weeks. Your Halloween is only on the 31st of October, one day. But our Halloween is planned according to the moon and the sun's position and so on. And so at that moment in time, presently we are in it now. We started on the 12th and it's going to finish on the 27th. And it's when you worship the ancestors. Now, remember, if you were the son of Rockefeller, you would have your own bank. If you're the son of Kennedy, you'd have your own plane. Or the son of Reagan, you'd have your own ranch. So if you don't have that, that means somebody messed up along the way. So that means your great-grandfather, you might have been supposed to be a princess, and you lost your castle. Right? So if you are suffering and you are having problems and everything, is because of the ancestors. Why? Where are the ancestors? Why are the ancestors? Because the ancestors are in hell. Now what is hell? Hell and heaven is right here. When you shout at people or you holler at people, you become a dog. When you're sneaky, you become a snake. When you steal, you become a rat. So Darwin was partially correct. We do go through the species, except Darwin didn't think about the soul. But we do go through species. And so if your great-grandfather became a dog, it means now that you can progress, because he's in the animal world. So when you pray to the ancestors, you release them from the animal kingdom, and they go into human. They become human. So if you look at, if for example, if your grandfather became a dog and you did the prayer, which we call the honoring of the ancestors, now it's called Pitri Puja or Pitri Paksh. If you do that prayer now, the dog will die and he will become an elephant. And the elephant will die and he will become an ape. An ape will die and he will become human. So we go through what you call the species. So reincarnation is really true. So what happens now is that if you were the dog and your great-grandson prayed and you became an elephant, wouldn't you, or you became human again, wouldn't you bless him? Well, that's why we have Pitri Paksh. This 2 weeks, we pray now, we call the names of all the people who died, and we ask them that they go to heaven. We ask that they go to heaven. So when your great-grandson remembers you, or great-grandchild remembers you, you go to heaven, which is you go to become human again. So to do that, you have to hold black sesame seed in your hand, and you take it to the sea. Right? So if you're not getting through with your immigration, you're not getting through with your getting children, if you're not happy in your marital life, you're not getting married, and all of these things, or your business is not doing well, the ancestors can bless you for that. So it's always good to remember the ancestors in these 2 weeks. So you take some sesame seed, take black sesame seed, and you take it to the sea, and you have to put it under the water, and you have to call all the names of the ancestors. And then you release the sesame seed after you finish. But each name has to be followed by the word stripintum. Stripintum. And so I gave you the paper here. Forget about the top part. It's really the bottom part that's important. You didn't get the other part. But what you do is, if you see the word, you will say, you see Om Brahma Tripintam. Okay, you can call these words, or you can say, instead of Brahma, say the name of your dead ancestor, like your grandfather or something, and followed by the word Tripintam. Right. So your father died, Gustavo?
Yes.
What's his name?
Emilio.
Emilio. So you say Om Emilio Tripintam. Yes.
So what about
Grandfathers and mothers?
Anybody who died.
Okay.
Only the people who died. And if you do that, then then they become human again and they bless you.
Does family matter?
Huh?
Does family name matter?
Usually in the morning is very good. But during Pitri Paksh, usually it's any time. Right? Now, this is the time also when you will dream your relatives. In these 2 weeks, if you have dreamt a relative, that means he visited you. If you dreamt somebody who died recently, that means they have visited you within these 2 weeks. From the 12th to the 27th, that's when you dream the ancestors. That's when you dream all the people who died and so on.
Just like she said she don't listen. The other day she had a dream like that where she get a visit and I tell her nothing but that dad just visited.
Oh, dad visited her?
She wasn't.
Okay, that means that you should do it for her. Well, the guy has to do it for the girl's parents. The guy does it for both sides. Yes. So the male person in the family is usually the one who preferably does it. So once they do that, then that means that the ancestors are happy, and then they'll bless you. So this is very important. So this is the Hindu Halloween, which is you guys do it in the West for 1 day, but the way they celebrate the Halloween today is that they dress up in witches and all of these things. But we do it differently. We actually ask that all of them calm down and go to heaven and don't show their evil side and so on. When you do that, it's guaranteed that you will have children. Because why? Because when they pass through the reincarnation, they will come and they'll be born as your child. Everybody born in their own family. Everybody born in their own generation. So your daughter Tasha might be your great-great-grandfather or something, great-grandmother or something. So the whole idea is when a house is haunted, is because you're not honoring your ancestors. They're the ones who come to haunt you also. So that's very important. The Pitri Paksh?
No, Hindu year, sorry.
Okay. There's 2 Hindu years. There's one when you plant the seeds, that's in spring, and there's one that starts when you when you harvest the plants. The one is called conception delivery. So the Hindu New Year of conception begins in March 21st, around that time, which is the time of spring, and the predictive year, or the real year, begins in September 15th. That's why all the destruction happens around that time. Tsunami, 9/11, earthquakes, hurricanes, all come around the September period, this August-September period, when the year is about to end and the year is about to begin. So all the destruction happens around that. That's why our life code prediction starts around that time too. So when you start planning your marriage or planning your business, make sure you don't think that 2011 is still on. It's now 2012. So that helps a lot. Okay?